let's talk about mood and mindset. I'm sure you would probably agree with me that, the mood that you're in does influence the mindset that you bring into your day, into your work. Um, and we often feel like, the mood's just something we end up with. This is like what I'm going through. These are the emotions that are happening right now. And you're kind of powerless to change it if it's a mood, you know? It's like, ugh, this is how I'm feeling today. I mean, we call it a mood. If it's negative, more likely than positive. So that's really what I want to talk about because if it's positive, there's nothing to worry about, right? That can just stay. So, what about if the mindset actually influences the mood? Like the mind actually influences the mood. Because what happens is that the emotions that, make up that mood, um, they are caused by a thought, an initial thought. That might have been even something that you didn't even realize you were thinking in the morning, first thing. Maybe it was, came out of the dream consciousness. But then that particular thought causes an emotion and causes a physical sensation. And those have like a feedback loop that cause similar thoughts along the same lines. And so when these are strong, when they have a strong charge, then they're more likely to be, to cause more and more thoughts along the same lines, making that emotion stronger and making that mood stick around for longer. And the thing is, we don't really notice those things unless we actually pay attention to it. So what mostly happens is this happens and then like we act in a specific way out into the world, and the world reacts back to us according to what we put out. um, and then we take that as proof that the reason, that we had a good reason to be in a bad mood. Like, like you're feeling, I don't know, whatever, you're feeling frustrated with something in the morning, and then obviously that's what you put out, and that negative energy will come back to you, and you kind of go like, oh yes, this is just the kind of day this was going to be, and we feel powerless. We feel like we can't do anything about it. And so we can stop that cycle at any place as long as we become aware of it, as long as we become aware of what kind of a cycle that is. So, one of the things that you can do is, um, it's like taking a step away and knowing that all emotions, if we don't attach to them, if we don't feed them with this kind of circle, then emotions will pass. Like throughout the day, emotions come and go. So as long as you don't think like, if you don't think, oh, I knew it, I have every reason to feel that, that emotion is going to pass and another one's going to come through. So that is one thing that you can do. And another thing is always bring attention into the body. That is really, it's such a powerful thing to stop any vicious cycle of how we feel, is to take a moment and pay attention to the breath and follow the sensation of breath into the body. And do that for a couple of breaths. And you'll feel that with that, like the body relaxes. And part of that experience, that negative experience we have is like tense body. There's can be burning in the abdomen, it can be a tight chest, it can be tense shoulders. And so when we do that and we do that breath and just follow the breath, just notice it without even wanting the body to relax, the body will relax. And that also stops that cycle or can interrupt it and can at least lessen it. And once you start doing that, then the body goes like, oh, I know this. Okay, good. I get to relax now. Great. And then it happens quicker. And then really the third thing that I wanted to tell you about that you can do is question those thoughts. Question whether the thoughts, those initial thoughts that are causing these cycles are even true. Because by thinking they're true, we create our own proof of how they are true. So it's this really creates self-awareness. It creates awareness of how you influence what is happening in your life. Um, and so when you catch a thought, like to write it down and look at it and go like, well, is this even 100% true? And that allows you to step away from it and put it a little bit in perspective. And if you want to take it further, what you can do um, is look at its opposite and see if that might be even just as true. So these two questions are like part of the work of Byron Katie, which is the main process I use for all my Leaders Work clients that I work with. And it's a very powerful process, and it's like preventative medicine. It takes the amount of thoughts that we have that cause these negative cycles and lessens them, and so allows you to be more relaxed and be more in charge of your daily mood and your daily mindset.